The Bible is for me.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Christian Movie Club.
Is that what we're calling it?
Or we will think of a better name.
We gotta have a better name.
This is the segment formerly known as Christian Movies Are Funny. We're workshopping new titles. My favorite currently is Christian Movie Club. And what is a club?
Original.
What is a club without new members? And today we are inviting a dear friend of the podcast to join on this very special day. Jonathan Allen Wright, everybody. Welcome, Jonathan.
I just got my card in the mail, and it did have CMC on the front, Tim, by the way. So he ran with it.
Is it laminated?
It is. It's not even laminated. It's like a credit card. It's full plastic. And I didn't know y'all had the budget, so it's there.
Jonathan, thank you so much for being on here. I don't know if anyone else has this experience with you. I feel so lucky to be able to call you a friend because you're so creative and you're always doing really cool and interesting things. I call you Jonathan Allen Wright every time I refer to you.
Yeah.
Is that normal for people?
No, it's a very so here's
I have to say your middle name every time.
So this is the full extent of why I go by this. First of all, Allen is my real middle name. It's not like I just made it up. That would have been a real twist. But so when I was first starting to make music, I was just, Jonathan Wright. That's what I'm going to put. And I was releasing it on a website called Noise Trade. Are y'all familiar with Noise Trade?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So on there was another guy named Jonathan Wright. And his album art had like a noose and it was like super dark. And so I started having people like message me being like, hey man, I found your album. It was definitely something. And I'd be like, what is
like your boss said, I found your album and we need to have a conversation.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on with? And then I realized, and I added my middle name very quickly to it. And I've been stuck with it ever since. And I like it.
It rolls. It's like David Allen Greer.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, look, there's like John Mark McMillan's,
Yes.
John Van Dusen is another guy right now rising up, but it's I've gotten to the point where I really like it, and I'm using it for my branding on YouTube and stuff, which is fun.
Yeah,
it's just JAW are my initials, so Jaw, and my newsletter
Very
I made
strong.
was the Jaw Drop. And I thought that was a
Come
lot of fun.
on.
I've got a call-in show starting in February called The Jawline, and I love that name.
Oh my gosh.
So thank you to my parents.
The both of you, Anthony had the Ant Bite blog for a while. It's such a great name.
Wow.
Yeah, I did like that name. That was Rachel.
Tim, go real quick. Newsletter name.
No, I got nothing. My name doesn't lend itself to anything like that. So that's why I don't do it.
Okay, so a third show for you guys is we find a new name for Tim, or we find a name for his newsletter.
Let's find a name for this podcast.
Easier to
and then we'll work on that.
Join the club, Tim.
Great cards.
Okay, so here's Jonathan. For the people that don't know you. You have music that you I love your style. You have this great sort of like Beach Boy style to all your stuff that I love.
Take it.
You also you've
Sing a song. Yeah. Sing it.
Like that. That's like a Beach Boys note. They're always hitting those notes.
You had it too. He did go get it pretty quick.
I want you to get it, Ant. I want you to go after it.
No. I saw Uncle Jesse perform with the Beach Boys, and I'm not going to act like anybody can do it.
He's still performing with them.
He was just at Epcot.
Going.
I'm really bummed I missed it.
Wow.
You do music. You have been putting a lot of time into YouTube lately. You just had a video go crazy about our dear friend Forrest Frank, and you have been working on a new video that as of this drop, as we drop this podcast, what can you tell the people a little bit about your upcoming release?
Oh man, so about a year ago, I started thinking about the Power Team again, and the way I've kind
Why'd you stop?
Well,
does that include?
This is the point.
You stopped thinking about the power team at some point.
Well, okay, I don't know that I ever completely stop, right? Can anyone ever completely stop thinking about them? And it just kept popping into my mind, and I was like, I think I saw them live, and it was that vague of a memory where I was like, I think I saw a guy run through an ice wall once in a church. And then I'm starting to talk to my parents and stuff. And so at that point, I had just started the YouTube channel and was trying to like gain ground on it. And so I thought, man, it would really throw a wrench in it to just out of left field do a video about a traveling strongman group, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I waited it out and just kept collecting information. And then the Forrest Frank video was kind of a secondary proof of concept for this style.
Yeah.
And it like blew up like crazy, way more than I thought it would. And I immediately started writing the power team again and said, that's the next one. We're just going to knock it out while they're still here.
This is what this has all been building towards.
Well, and it's interesting because I try to make it a little interactive with the subscribers and the newsletter to be like, hey, you know, here's some clues as to what the next video is, or does anybody know anybody connected with this? I'm making a video about it. So like people are very aware of what's happening. And what I found was way more people remember the power team than I thought would. And they're all just, they've been waiting. So it's crazy.
I just love that it's like the most hot, current, relevant Christian influencer creator, Forrest Frank. What's the most natural follow-up? How about a debunked group that toured in the late 90s? That would be the most logical. They were like Dallas Jenkins or something. No.
Like that meme, inside me there are two wolves, you know? It's like, there's the one that thinks about Forrest Frank's music and the power team. You know?
Oh, I'm so glad you're doing this. You do such a great job. I texted you after I watched Forrest Frank video because I just genuinely was like, this is so.
He did too.
Yeah. You know, and you probably responded to his quicker than you did to mine. But that's neither here nor there because for those that don't know, I asked Jonathan recently for his email, and I do think this is worth sharing with the audience because there's nothing but this is the most humbling.
Don't give it out.
I won't give it out. But it's the most, I want to say it's one of the more humbling experience I ever had, is I asked Jonathan Allen Wright for his email, and the email started with contact at.
Yeah.
And I just was like, wow, nothing says, if you think you're a big deal, and then you get this as a form of communication result, you're like, you just remember.
At least it wasn't do not reply at.
I send you a 5-digit phone number, and it just says yes or no. Yeah, you know, I've been doing freelance stuff for so long, and then before I had like a full company name, that was what I had, and then I just kept it because it became my personal. So now I pay 2 Google Workspace accounts. How absurd is that?
We'll add you to the Isaac one.
Hey, throw me in another one. I'm just trying to collect a bunch of Google Drives.
So you're doing the power team. I'm super pumped. That's coming out in a couple weeks as of the release of this. So what I'm going to do is put Jonathan's YouTube channel in the show notes so you can go there because you're going to want to watch this video as soon as it drops.
And you're in it, Anthony.
You were so kind to let me be in it and to share. I actually will share now.
You blow up a hot water bottle, actually.
You asked me, and I shared it with you. I'm going to share it with our listeners, too. My wife was chosen by the power team for a special segment where they had a bar, like a steel bar, and the guy would lift it up, and there were 2 kids dangling from either end, just hanging on. And Rach was chosen. She was picked to be one of those kids.
Now, right now, she only weighs about 85 pounds. Can't imagine that was.
I'll give them a real run for their money if they ever ask me for it. You know, I'll be the first to stand up and say I volunteer, and they're gonna leave. You know.
Yeah.
While I was watching this movie, I did see a very short clip of them lifting children on a metal bar.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw it, I was like, Anthony's wife was doing that.
She was
That's
chosen.
Like the first thought. So
She raised her little hand and she was
she's
picked.
so brave.
Let's not get too into it though, because we are going to review a movie. This is a fun thing. This is what brings us all together for Christian Movie Club, and it is to watch a movie, a Christian movie, to consume it, and then we come here to discuss it. We thought this was the perfect one to have Jonathan Allen Wright on with us, because it is a documentary. I want to say,
Yeah.
is that the cover? Do you have the real?
I have. Well, I've realized this was sitting on my desk. This is the first comic book they ever put.
Oh my god! Does that say John Jacobs at the top of it?
It says John Jacobs. It says the action adventures of John Jacobs and the Power Team, and on the front someone says, "Somebody please save my son," and a gang member says, "Either he joins me and the Clips, or he dies, man." And then John Jacobs says, "You've got it backwards, Cliphead. If you join the Power Team, then you can live." So it's a lot of dialogue for the front cover of the comic.
I'm gonna kill this kid unless you can break a baseball bat over your knee.
It's a lot of that happening in there, and they also call him Commander J in the comic book, by the way. So it's a little. Anyway, I forgot that was sitting on my desk and figured
That's
I'd show you guys.
fantastic. So you're just so enveloped right now in Power Team like mythos and in the entirety of all things Power Team, that I thought this would be perfect. We're gonna watch this movie together and discuss it here on the podcast. As is our custom, Tim, is there anything that the people watching who may not have seen? Let me give you the proper title of this film, which is John Jacobs in the. Okay, you do it, Tim. Talk to the people about what they need to know.
Yeah. The film propaganda piece, whatever we want to call it, is called John Jacobs and the Power Team: touches the world. It's a 1991 documentary, if you will.
And I'll tell y'all right now, it sold for $25 according to the merch list in my comic book.
Wow.
We'll get into that, but that is a shock that anybody would buy the thing that has just reused B-roll over and over. That's okay. I'm gonna give you a little synopsis of the thing. Well, there's not really much in it. It's starring John Jacobs, and that's it, because he's the one that's in it. It's got Mike Hagan in it. I guess he's one of the other guys. I had tried to find a list of the Power Team members. It is darn near impossible to get any list of people. There's like people who took it over after it like went defunct and it went bankrupt and all the crap happened. You can't get a list of the people who were in it, because they were like ghosts. It's weird.
Yeah.
Mullety, beautiful ghosts.
They don't want people to know. That's what it is.
No, I wouldn't either, but it's like they've done if anything, they've done a really good job of scrubbing the internet to make sure their names are off of there, but you cannot find it. You also can't really find a strong, hard reason why they broke up. Maybe, I'm sure, Jonathan, you've gotten there.
I got you.
I've got a couple clues, but there's no, as far as I saw, there was no like easy, definite, this is the end of it.
We'll say it's a collage of things.
I think that's what I understand.
Yeah.
But I want some juicy details. But that's not what this film is about. And I'm using that term film very loosely.
Right.
This is about John Jacobs and the Power Team and how they touch the world, maybe specifically Russia. But yeah, that's it. I mean, this came out in 1991-ish. Again, it's got John Jacobs and Mike Hagan in it. And then a bunch of weird dudes and a weird pastor, somebody who's sort of narrating this thing, another
Ruth
evangelical
Ann's in
preacher.
His wife.
Ruth Ann.
Too soon.
You must have rest in peace, don't
I did. To a marriage. A marriage divorce is like
the relationship.
Okay, I was trying to glean information from all that, and I am on a ride. Is she alive?
No,
she's alive. She's probably alive.
Okay.
As of this
also,
moment, I don't
big
know.
signals on my answer. I said no, she's alive, which is like,
I'm like, what? Okay,
she's
so
fine,
Ruth Ann's
and probably
alive.
happily married to somebody else.
yeah, who's
Okay.
probably stronger.
Okay, so that's what we got. We will obviously get into this film. We're going to get into Power Team lore. This is what this podcast is going to be all about. But Tim, is there anything else on your end that you want to discuss?
here's a rundown of what a synopsis of this film. And there's I've got a couple things here, but this one was the best so far. Because again, it's not on IMDb. That's usually my go-to. I find the IMDb summary, but that doesn't exist for this thing. So here goes. John Jacobs and the Power Team, one of America's most sought-after motivational and inspirational programs, entices you to experience ultimate power. Watch as the Power Team performs their amazing feats of strength and gives a timeless message of hope to communist Russia, South Africa, and nations across the globe. Your family will never be the same. That's it.
Heck yeah.
Your family will never be the same.
Family
Does
will
sound
never.
like a threat.
Little
Good or
menacing
bad.
at the end.
Yeah.
Little menacing at the end.
Yeah. I don't know how I
Um,
feel about that synopsis after a
Well,
while.
I liked the Wikipedia synopsis I got that was the Power Team is a group of Christian evangelicals based in Dallas, Texas. They incorporate their preaching with displays of strength and martial arts skills. And I thought, well, that's funny. They describe it as martial arts. I feel like by that same logic, we could say the same thing about like NFL kickers. They're martial artists because
they employ martial arts to
There
be
was
successful at their sport. Yeah. No, I think you're exactly right.
Yeah.
I think when you're making a chopped salad, you're practicing martial arts to a certain degree.
right.
I did it
right.
today, so can I add it to the resume?
How about, okay, so this is going to be a new segment for this year, Tim. I'm going to ask for one or two outstanding, just you think kind of capture the essence. We're looking for reviews from people that watched the film and commented on their experience online. Is there any reviews that jumped out at you in regards to John Jacobs and the Power Team Touch the World?
Yeah, for sure. They're all positive too. First one is the. Sorry, let me get my mode.
He's getting emotional.
I'm getting in my
Clearly.
mode.
Yeah.
The perfect blend of cringe, obscurity, religious parasitism, political naivety, and the world's most pathetic 90s macho men. It's all here. That was one. And then the other one I
That's
liked
perfect,
said,
honestly.
Yeah, it's
Right,
kinda
No
nailed
notes. No
kinda
notes.
nailed it. The other one, this one was my favorite though, just the way it was written. She says, 2 things. One, I am unbelievably jealous of how absolutely sick nasty this VHS editing is. It is really difficult to see peak artistry that has already been achieved by a team of Christ-based motivational wrestlers. Number 2, Jacob doesn't find breaking a 5-foot thick block of ice with your forehead using the power of Jesus impressive. And that is how I know my boyfriend has been possessed by Satan himself. So top reviews in my opinion.
He didn't get saved, you know?
Oh,
My boyfriend didn't find that
man.
amazingly impressive. He must be.
Wow. All right. Well, let's get into it. Before we do, our last couple kind of housekeeping notes. First thing is this is kind of an interesting film for us. We've not really done a documentary or you can sense us all kind of struggling with that because there's no sense of real sort of
It also
documentarianism
helps when a
here.
documentary has a plot too. You know?
This is what I'm saying. It's just sort of a presentation of this group. But all that to say, we don't know Jonathan Allen Wright. Tim and I don't know these people personally, so this is no commentary on them. I don't know how they do their thing. I don't know what they're up to now. But again, I know Jonathan knows a lot more about that. This is all to say, though, that we are going to be commenting on the film for the duration of this podcast. That's what we're talking about. A piece of media was created and submitted to the world for consumption. We have consumed it, and we're going to be discussing that. We don't know the people involved in shooting it. The VHS editing is peak. I will say that right from the jump.
Had a
It's
great time with that.
dynamite. So there was obviously some talented people involved, but we're just going to break down the film here. That's my first thing. And then my second thing is this film is available to watch for free on YouTube. If you would like to watch it without spoilers, I will give you the opportunity to pause this review, to go to the show notes. You can watch it, and then I will not spoil anything for you. But from here on out, things will be spoiled.
Chock full
Right
of
now,
spoilers.
I don't know how to tell them, but they are going to break bats in this.
Jonathan.
I didn't want to
I'm trying to give them the chance.
Okay.
So you don't know there are baseball bats and phone books and blocks of ice involved, but you don't know what happens to them as of now. If you go to the link, you can watch it, and there will be no spoilers. You can fully take it in. It's just under an hour long. I'll give you a moment to do that now. If you don't want to do that, just hang around for a second while people make a choice, and then we'll continue to discuss here in just a moment. All right, welcome back. Or if you stuck with us, thanks for being here. We will now dive into the discussion of John Jacobs and the Power Team Touches the World. I'm going to start with kind of a brief but more thorough synopsis than what Wikipedia presented, or the other one that Tim found. And this is just if you hadn't seen the film or it's been a while, you'll be all up to speed when I'm done here. We'll start talking in a little more detail. John Jacobs and the Power Team will tell you all about their incline bench press, as long as you don't decline the good news of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. The world is forever changed in May of 1991 when John and his team of muscle-bound missionaries are personally invited to the USSR. For decades, this was a country where Christian work had to be disguised. Bibles would have to be disguised in boxes of other goods. Evangelists would have to be disguised as English teachers. Worship bands would have to be disguised as real bands. But there's no disguising these beefy boys. They have mullets, matching track jackets, and most importantly, the answer to life's single most pressing question. Not just in Siberia, but across the globe, Jacobs and the Quad Squad put into practice the call of our earliest Christian forefathers. Preach the gospel and, when necessary, use phone books.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
So that's a more it's a more thorough description. Hopefully that gives you a little context about what was going on in the film John Jacobs and the Power Team Touches the World. Let's start with our first question, fellas. What was most shocking to you about this movie?
I know right out of the gate what was the most shocking thing, because I texted Anthony immediately before I knew that we were going to do this. I was watching it, and the whole intro is going. It's this very 90s thing, and then a brick wall busts, and you're left with a hammer and sickle and shots of missiles rolling down the road. And I out loud in my kitchen said, "What?" That was a real thing that happened.
Thanks. Shouts out to YouTube. I thought it was an ad. I thought an ad had started. Genuinely. I was like, oh, Jonathan's being funny because an ad started after he started watching the movie. And then I was like, oh, no, that's real. That's a real.
It's so shocking. Nothing prepared me for that twist within the first, 3 minutes of the video?
And maybe a little bit of props to them. I mean, they wasted no time getting to the primary story.
That's what we call a hook in the business. You know?
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Tim, what was shocking to you?
To me, there was like one moment like that seemed very different than all of the rest of them, and I forget how deep into this we were, but like there was a point where there was a dude bench pressing something while he was laying on top of another dude. And he's like, they're sandwiching, like smushing each other, and for whatever reason, this very homoerotic scene is happening.
They're like, no, Russia, you don't understand. This is the most manly thing you've ever seen in your life.
And but mostly I was like, why? Why is that a feat of strength? There's the guy that's kind of holding up his buddy with a piece of wood, so to speak, while the other dude's sitting on top of it, and he's bench pressing iron.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Why? What was the purpose of this?
Maybe
and
the real
that
feat
looks
of strength.
Real weird.
The real feat of strength was him being comfortable enough in his masculinity to do this.
Yeah. It was just a little jarring with all the other like preachy stuff that was going on, and all of a sudden it's like two dudes kind of rubbing up against each other and then lifting weights. I'm like, I didn't see that. I did not see that one coming.
I think if you understood martial arts, then this would make a lot more sense.
You're right. He's yeah. Tim doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's what we call Russian jiu-jitsu.
The idea of jiu-jitsu not getting translated for Russia too.
Let me tell you what was shocking to me. I'm watching this movie and I'm starting to crunch some numbers. And Tim hates when I do this, but I ended up having to do a little research to come to this statistic. You boys I think, are going to be as shocked as I was by this. And what I'm going to say I was shocked by was just the unavoidable impact of the power team's visit to this particular part of the world. In May of 1991, the power team visits the USSR. The USSR falls in December of 1991. The impact of this visit from John Jacobs and the power team broke that country completely down to the studs in a mere 7 months.
How close were they to the Berlin Wall? That's what I wonder, because I know that we're talking years and years prior in a different part of the world, but you start seeing things and you're like, how active were they, and for how long?
Yeah. John Jacobs took communism and ripped it in half.
Wow.
They're behind the scenes. I love this theory from Jonathan. They're behind the scenes of all major events right before.
I've read it all right here in the comic.
Right before a power team visits.
What's in here, guys?
I think it's because everyone in the country, you go home, you take a good, long, hard look in the mirror when you're just like, how did we get to here?
Yeah.
And then significant changes come.
Right. Sometimes in the form of a strongman group. Like
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give me a character in this film you wanted to see less of.
John Jacobs.
John Jacobs. It's the right answer. This was a
favorable.
right wrong, and you got it right.
Yeah.
I said this narrator voice that was introduced at some point. Like who was this guy? And
He was
also
there
like
at the
the
beginning.
right. So like these sort of like random facts that would come out too. Like he kind of gets introduced at the end, and there's one point he says something like, "But what could be done? Who could tame the Russians? Remember, they're Russia, communist Russia, atheist Russia." And then I think the same guy makes some sort of claim and says, "Today, most American high schoolers were off to school where satanic worship takes place."
Dude, that was the
What?
Most?
Who's
Most?
fact checking any of this? It sounds like, I don't know, maybe a Twitter feed by a current political figure.
Most
Just say whatever you want.
high schoolers are like the word most in that
Most.
claim.
Yeah.
I like to imagine him in the booth, and he just looks at the people and he's like, watch this take. Most high schoolers are worshiping Satan. And then they stop the recording. He's like, that was the one. They won't check it.
Like I also had to pause when that it hit me like in the chest.
Yeah.
Most? Like, what a statement.
I know, he could have gone the whole route and said they're all doing it. Just full commitment.
I guess
Every
that's kind of
high schooler right
Well,
now.
he said that they were off to a school where satanic worship takes place. And they wasn't saying that they were worshiping Satan, but it's still, I don't know that, I think at that point in American Christian culture, we were calling people with pierced ears Satan worshipers. So that kind of checks.
yeah.
It definitely was like how can we get away with saying this in the most dramatic way? Kind of like a YouTube thumbnail, title situation.
That's right. Yeah.
Where
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, I'm technically telling the truth, but it's a little exaggerated.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
we're doing with this one. Is it's
Yeah.
going to be like Jonathan Allen Wright.
Found out high schoolers worship Satan? We uncovered satanic
Worship Satan in high
schoolers.
school?
Well, it's the barrage of ridiculous facts that, again,
Yeah.
has made its way into our political narrative right now. That's like, you say so many ridiculous things, you can't fact check at all, guys. So just say as much as you want. Who's going to catch you? Who's
and
going
I
to stop
do-
you?
There's a degree of like criminal genius in it, because you're like, how would you go about? You would have to investigate every high school in America and prove without a shadow of a doubt that zero Satan worship is happening in every, like, you hear the fact, you're like, it's not true, but you're like, but how would I prove it's
they're like,
not?
that's not happening
that
in
would,
my child's school, but I guess at everyone else's.
it's that, how would I check all the schools? That's why I had John Jacobs for my character I wanted to see less of. And I do want to point out just another like kind of record scratch moment. He's on one of his rants, and he seemed to really crush like when he got to his rants and he could start going through a list. Yeah. And he's like, the devil's trying to get this generation. It's not the something that's doing that. It's the devil. It's not something that's doing that. It's the devil. It's not teenagers getting alcohol. It's the devil. And I was like, that one.
The devil walks into a bar.
We actually do have a lot of examples of the teenagers are just finding ways to get their own alcohol. Well, they do be doing that.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think there's some videos out there of like teenagers in the 90s going, "Hey, mister, can you go buy me?" And it's Satan in the convenience store. "Hey, mister, I'm not a mister. I'm a demon."
Look, I don't mean to push forward this narrative, but a friend of mine, he bought alcohol in high school nonstop, but he also was hired by the government to get ABC stores to sell him alcohol and send them to prison. So
narc. He
was a narc. It's okay. He's not undercover anymore. I could talk about it. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's a real story.
Did he have to like turn the alcohol in after or something?
Yeah,
what was the plan there?
This is one of my best friends growing up. We went to youth group together, and he'd be like, "Sorry guys, I'm not going to be in youth group today. I gotta like hit some ABC stores." You know, and so he would drive to an ABC store in the car with a federal agent of some sort, and he would hop out, go inside, and say, "I want to buy this beer. I don't have my ID," and then they would sell it to him. He'd walk out to the car, hand the alcohol to the agent. That guy would walk in and take the guy. So it was just the weirdest thing.
But
so
you
John
know
Jacobs
he like learned later. He would go back after the agent's gone and be like.
But he lost his job once he was like out of high school. That was the thing. Like when he turned 18, they were like, "Sorry, can't really do this anymore." So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, they would have a high turnover for that role.
Yeah.
If you didn't, I trust you so implicitly just based on your beard and your accent. But if I didn't, like that just sounds like the most elaborate story that a high school kid came up for buying alcohol all the time. Like, no, it's not for me. It is on behalf of the federal agent that I work with. It's a sting operation. I wouldn't, not me.
Never.
Yeah, John Jacobs talking is so tough. There's so many times in this. At one point, he talks about, and I was so curious because he's like, we're in Russia and we're these giant, huge dudes, and you don't see a lot of big people in Russia because there's not a lot of food here. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I feel like that would be a thing. They're going to different parts of Africa where it's like, you're massive because there's a lot of like available calories to you that are not available to these individuals.
Calories. That's what got him big. Yep. Calories.
Totally.
That's how Barry Bonds got big.
Liquid calories.
I don't know what you're implying.
The muscles.
I don't know what you're implying. Barry Bonds played.
We have access to calories and oils and tinctures and pills, calories in pill form.
I upped my calories after watching this documentary. And I don't know if I should.
So Jacobs, so he says like, yeah, there's not a lot of people here because there's not a lot of food. And he goes, it really got me thinking. And I'm like, yeah, that would be like, that's one of those things travel does, is it kind of makes you, he goes, it got me thinking about the kind of food you eat. You can't expect to be super strong if you're not eating super strong foods. And that's his like point.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and he's like leaned on the stairs, you know.
Maybe the point is, these people should have food, John. I think you've overlooked the much more obvious point. These people don't have what they need, and you're over here crushing whey protein shakes.
I love
that's the juxtaposition you miss.
They don't have any food, which really made me think about myself.
They're starving over here.
Yeah.
So about me.
Yeah, it really got me in my head about me.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Dude, somehow resisted that joke through the whole documentary I made. I don't know how. Yeah,
I think that's why nobody is claimed as a name on the power team, because they all just said his name is my name too. That's all they said.
I think they called him a lot of names by the end of it.
Yeah.
John Jacobs, dude, this whole documentary, I was like, is he all we're gonna hear from? And it just furthered kind of the way I felt about his personality in how he presented himself in a lot of things as Commander J in the comics and things like that. Like he was the guy that kind of didn't give anyone else maybe the opportunity to talk. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. I got the feeling that everybody else to him was pretty expendable, and that's why nobody else got a name. Nobody else gets a credit. Nobody else. You're not on this team. You are a vessel. You're expendable. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what I'm doing right now is spinning. Like I want a little bit from you, Jonathan, about like, I know your whole video is going to come out.
What do you
like
want?
Give me a little bit of how John, like, how does it end with John?
I mean, I give this up front. There's like a scandal, there's a mutiny, there's bankruptcy, there's an assault charge. I mean, it's a lot going on by the time John Jacobs gets to the 2000s. So it's pretty wild out there. And
that's a lot to erase.
It seems to stem from a guy who really wanted a crowd. Like that I would, you could feel that even in this documentary, that like the numbers game was very important to him, of like, look how big this crowd is. Look how no other acts can get into this country. We're here.
Right.
We're so much bigger than the people who don't get to eat here, and they're going to come to our show. You know,
it's weird. Right. It's weird. I wonder what made him like want to become a pastor, like a mega church pastor, because that seems like it's just drastically different.
Right.
Be a big swing to go the different direction.
He was doing prison ministry before this, though.
Right.
Ended up doing prison ministry after for different reasons. Give me a character you wanted to see more of from this movie.
John Jacobs. I really did. I hated him. I didn't. Okay, I say that. I highly disliked every time I saw John Jacobs, and then when it wasn't John Jacobs, I was like, man, I wish they'd bring him back.
That is actually like really true, dude.
Yeah,
it's like real.
My character I want to see more of was the interpreter on stage with him. Mostly, I wanted to be in his head. Like I want that translator. Like he's translating in real time what this lunatic is saying next to him. Like, does he believe what he's saying, or is he just getting paid?
Or is he changing it? That's what I was
wondering. Right, yeah. Is that an option?
I always wondered
like,
changing it.
Does he know that eventually people are going to make fun of these guys and, like, also sort of be making fun of him, too? And, like, how many times, I want to know, did John say, like, I'm going to rip this phone book in half? And then the translator was like, I'm going to... Okay, he's going to rip the phone... I'm not ripping the phone book. It's not me, because he's, like, 95 pounds soaking wet.
Exactly.
He's gonna rip the phone.
I was wondering because they set up this whole thing of like they are hostile towards the Christian message, and then it's like a Russian guy translating for him, and I'm like, John Jacobs doesn't speak Russian clearly, so like for all we know, the entire stadium just leaves and is like, wow, that guy talked about food a whole lot, like. He didn't give any sort of message. He talked about food and movies for 2 hours.
Or even if you were like, if there was like a real like rug pull at the end of this, and the Russian translator is just like, so if you guys love communism, come up front. Everybody, if we do communism, we're going to be big and strong like these guys. So that's what he's saying.
Come forward if you support this lasting a little bit longer.
You feel like this is going good and you want to see more of it, everybody come on up to the front. Yeah. John Jacobs is just like,
if you want to see this out through past the end of this year, come forward.
I went real... that is funny, Tim. I did make the same note. I just wrote how much of this presentation is lost when the main presenter is a real skinny Russian translator, not this hulked out mulleted American. So I do love that answer. And mine was real niche. I don't even know if you guys caught this. I was really obsessed immediately. Rewound twice. And it is at 56:05 in the film, and it is a run of B-roll shots, and it's just life in Russia, and it's some people are dancing, and then they cut to these three people on a balcony, and so it's like cut to the three people on the balcony, and for like about a beat they're waving. And then it's two women and a man, and the man takes a giant snowball and he shoves it in the face of the woman next to him.
No, I missed that.
Did not see it.
I will send you the clip right after this, but I just was like, tell me more about what's going on the balcony right now, because there's got to be a story to this. Who are they waving at, and why did he just smash her face with a snowball?
You know, it's Russia.
And where are
they
they
don't have
now?
anything to eat. There's just eating snowballs. That's probably what John Jacobs said after.
Trying to get bigger. Okay, give me a. This is going to be difficult to do, but give me a low point from the film John Jacobs and the Power Team Touch the World.
The high point was the opening credit. I was real hyped starting it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it only got lower the further I went through the movie. So I guess, I don't know, like a low point would just be right after that. And it stayed.
Yeah, and then
It just tanked and then plateaued from there.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a fair answer. Tim?
Reverse plateau. My like general low point was about the hot water bags. Like when at what point did we say blowing up balloons was a feat of strength?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other things they were doing, and all of a sudden they're blowing up these balloons to like these hot water bags to make them pop.
Right.
And okay, I get it. It's hard. I probably can't do that. I've also never tried because I'm not an idiot. And then I was watching and I was like, to what end are we blowing these things up? I didn't really get it that they were trying to make them pop. But then I'm watching these clips of them blowing up these hot water bags, and the kids around them are terrified.
Yeah.
That they're gonna blow up in their face, and they would go and they'd blow them up like at their faces. And then they're talking about how dangerous it is that it could like, pop and gouge their eyes out and go back in their lung and whatever BS is out there. But they're like going up in these kids' faces to blow these things up.
Yeah.
Also, like, how long did that take in real time to do that? Like, in real life, on stage.
I remember.
It seems like there would be a lot of dead air while they're blowing these things up. And then, like, what's happening during production while these 2 or 3 guys are blowing up these hot water bottles?
I don't know if John did my performance that I was at, but the speaker. So I saw the Power Team.
What year did you see?
Was this the competition part of it?
No, it was exactly what this documentary covers.
No, I mean, but the documentary covers like a competition portion of the demonstration, where like 3 guys compete against each other to knock like a couple of major events out, like American Gladiator.
What year did you see them, Anthony?
So it's probably late
90s. Oh, then you saw John Jacobs.
The vibe was like identical.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, it did take a long time. And the hot water thing stuck with me primarily because I was like, that's a hot, that's a hot water thing. I'm not like a Victorian queen. That I think is the last time we were using those for hot water.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Charlie's grandparents in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory had those at their feet. You know?
I didn't. We're not currently in the Great Depression, so I don't know. Yeah. Well, I don't associate that with hot water at all.
Okay, this is kind of on the topic of hot water bottles, but it's a broad topic, which is, where were they getting all of these hot water bottles? Where were they getting all the phone books? Look, Anthony knows I'm trying to tear a phone book in half for this video. And do you know how hard it was for me to find just a normal big phone book? Near impossible.
Right.
And so even then I'm like, they're tearing 20 and 30 of them in half. That's where are they coming from? Where are they?
But they deliver them to your doorstep back then.
99, dude. They were everywhere.
But the hot water bottles were not being delivered.
Hot water is a very valid question, and they kept a company alive. So you can say the Power Team did a lot of bad things, but there was a hot water balloon company that survived a decade longer than they should have, because John Jacobs was buying in bulk from
2001
them.
hit, and the hot water bottle company just said this is going to ruin the whole tour when they looked at the news.
Oh yeah, so anyway, Tim, to answer your question, there was John's on the mic talking, like trying to sell to fifth grade Anthony why this is an impressive feat, and I remember even then being like, I know what a baseball bat is, I know what a phone book is, I don't know what you're doing. It looks like a big balloon, and you're like, it's a hot water thing, and at any moment 9 million metric tons might go rushing back into his lungs, and who knows. Now, I will say, obviously from the stage performance element, having a giant thing that could pop at any moment is obviously really fun for a crowd. So I get why they did it. But I remember, I have the fifth grade memory still in here of like, I don't know what that is. Why are they blowing that up? And it doesn't seem that hard. Like, it seems like if you could keep blowing out, you could accomplish this.
Can you breathe still?
It did look like it would have made a really good ad for like Big League Chew. It's it's a massive
Ken Griffey
bubble.
Jr.
I feel like I remember this definitely being in the middle of the show. Like they led with like, oh, we're breaking cinder blocks and bending
For
bars.
sure.
And then it was like, we're going to do this competition, blow the bottle up. And then I'm going to run through an ice wall in a few minutes. It was, I don't think it was the highlight of the show.
I remember that the same. Man,
by the way, I was just gonna say I can get you a hot water bottle on Amazon for $9.99.
See, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like that's not that's a lot of high stress plastic involved in that thing. You're not gonna be able to make that for cheap.
You're gonna look at
I would
one
need
review
to
that says this collapsed my lung.
I would need someone to show me how to use it, because does the water go in the balloon, and then how does it get hot?
Water, and then you put it in that and seal it, and then you put it like on your feet. I think was like a big thing people did. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not 85 years old. I have no idea.
It looked like something in a period piece movie that you were like, the queen is ill.
Like,
Ooh,
the queen has
here's what I
vapors,
have to give to her. Put it under her neck. Okay, my low points, I thought for sure we were going to have the same low points. My low points were two. Well, one of them was kind of niche. It was another just great throwaway line from John Jacob, Jingleheimer. He says, psychiatrists, by the way, have the biggest problems with their kids.
Dude, I forgot about that.
It's like,
my wife's a psychiatrist, and I didn't even say that was the low point of the video.
It's just like the wildest haymaker to throw.
By the way, I hate mental health professionals.
I wrote that down. He said doctors and psychiatrists have the worst record of raising children, and they're the ones prescribing them drugs. And yet, the irony that's beautiful is that he's going and talking about relationships and marriage, and like 8 years later he's divorced, and his life just completely falls apart.
Yeah.
But doctors and psychiatrists, they're really leading kids.
And you know what I heard has really high success rates in marriages is touring artists.
Absolutely.
And just a dab of steroids.
So no
just
trouble.
Right. No trouble with people on the road at all times. Those kids turn out great.
Yep.
My other low point, which is full disclosure, has inhabited our three-way text thread quite a bit, was at one point John claims to have been contacted monthly by people who are attempting to erase themselves with rubber pink erasers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just was a moment where you were like, you talked on some other issues, John. You talked about alcohol. We know that's an issue. You talked about self-harm in some other ways that are much more like documented and reported. And then you went on a rant about how like so regularly people are attempting to use number 2 erasers to erase themselves because they can't find an answer to the question, what would make the pain go away? Mm-hmm. And I just thought, one, it was a great run of like 90s disconnect where you were just like sort of selling your thing, never once asking the question from all these people contacting you like, hey, why are you in so much pain? No time for that question.
How did they get your phone number?
Yeah.
That's weird.
They all have the
These
same
children are
psychiatrist.
calling me.
Hey, right, it's a 15-year-old girl. How'd she get your phone number, dude?
He's like, you don't understand. She's wondering how to stop the pain.
Everywhere I go, everywhere, it doesn't matter.
I
We've
thought
been
it
to
was
South
sad
Africa.
he didn't mention the kids that struggle with whiteout. You know, it was just the erasers.
This is
My
so
God, my
terrible.
top 10 worst jokes I've ever made.
It's so terrible. Well, when you said it, it's awful. I just pictured a parent walking in and their kid is just You're like, what are you doing?
Oh, my kid's depressed again. You know,
My kid is
I'm crying.
My kid is both depressed and like really dumb, and I have to deal with both of those things now.
Kid's like, John Jacob said my soul is dark.
Parent walks in and is like, no, that's not how you do it. It's like, you gotta scold him and show him how.
Oh my gosh!
Sorry, it went dark there for a second, fellas. I don't know what happened.
You want to collapse your lungs? Here, this is a hot water holder. Very dangerous in the wrong hand.
Oh,
Oh my gosh! That was my low point. Give me a high point, fellas. What do you got?
I felt a high point when Rich Mullins started playing out of the blue. I was like, hey, I'll take this any day over John Jacobs talking.
Love me some.
And
Rich
then they
Mullins.
played the whole song. And I think
Yeah.
they played it twice. Did they play it twice?
Yes, yeah. It was a little It was the Top Gun Highway to the Danger Zone.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? How that
Yeah.
song kept going.
Kind of keeps
in
coming
different.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
It wasn't
that was,
for no reason that he shared it, but the turn very close
You know, the Lord
to
wasn't
the-
joking. I love that one. It was.
The Lord was joking with
Yeah, because that's how Rich Mullins talked all the time. But when that started playing, I had a couple of questions, which were, I mean, the first thing was not even a question. I was just happy. And then the second question was, they were able to clear using this song, you know?
Nobody cared.
Not in
It was
'91.
Christian
what I was
artistry in the 90s. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the early days of YouTube, man.
Yeah.
Like I currently have like 3 music videos to like Coldplay songs on my YouTube right now because I got in early enough. Nobody knew what was
I'm gonna
going on.
report you. I'm going to do it.
Tim, do you have a high point?
Did I have a high point? Of course I had a high point. My high point was I just said I love the pants that were made from recycled circus tents. I felt like that was really good and responsible of them. And then seeing mullets in their true natural habitats. And it was all good because you got to see the same B-roll clips used over and over. So you saw the same mullets in the same clips multiple times in the movie. There were so many points where the same clip was being brought in, and the same line was even being dropped. I had an alternate high point where John is talking, and he says this line. He says, "You know, the same people that prayed the Berlin Wall down prayed the power team in." Well, I mean, okay, maybe they didn't really know what they were getting. They might not have actually expected the power team, but still.
That's a cover-up. Remember what I mentioned about the Berlin Wall? He knew.
He knew.
Right.
Yeah, he knew.
Like, they prayed for us. Well, not exactly us. They just wanted something good,
Yeah.
and then we showed up, and then they kind of got what they paid for, which was nothing because they don't have any money.
I once again can't help but notice that John made it immediately about him.
Right.
They were
Weird.
praying for us. Well, not us, but they knew what they wanted.
But I mean, mostly us. My high point was a comment from John that really sent me on like a giggle fit, where he's talking about the ministry and doors being open and yada yada, and he says the line, "We might be the only Jesus they ever see," and I just thought, what a hysterical concept. That if you got one brush of Christianity, like you got one, and it did not come by way of a lowly missionary giving their life in service to communicating this message, but that somebody somewhere is like, oh, Christianity, yes, I am familiar. It's the bar. and then the baseball bat.
I like
You
I
do
like-
it with your teeth, and then you do the phone book.
I like the idea of like archaeologists a few hundred years from now, like uncovering paintings from Russia that are like from churches of Jesus, and they're like, "This is something happened. Why is Jesus absolutely ripped in every single photo in this church?"
There's a Russian kind of like Episcopal church with that cross at the front, and Jesus is ripping because that was the only Jesus they saw. And that's what the line made me spin into.
Ripping
Is I was
the
like,
Ten Commandments, and they're like, not only were they not right about who was holding the Ten Commandments, but why is he tearing them?
okay, this is a good merch idea. Jesus ripping the veil, like in a power team tank.
And it's just one of the disciples out front saying, "Help him!" To a crowd.
I want to see the footprints in the sand. That meme, I guess we would call it, from back in the day, but with the power teams. They're the only Jesus, and it's I was carrying you. You were holding on to the 45-pound dumbbells, and I was holding you and your buddy on the other side. When you only saw the one set of footprints.
At one point,
Okay.
there were 3 sets of footsteps, and then there were 1. And that's when John Jacobs and the power team lifted me up off the ground and walked me the rest of the
That
way.
set of footprints really was sunk into the sand a lot.
Really digging it. Okay, how many? Let's bring this thing to the conclusion. Everybody comes here for what? How many raised hand emojis do we give John Jacobs and the
Lord.
power team touches the world?
Out of what number again?
Out of 5.
Out of
Out of 5.
five.
Does it
And
matter?
so,
Hey, to reference
1,000.
again, you give it 1,000?
No, out of 1,000. How much bigger than 0 are you gonna make your
I was going to
rating?
reference y'all's I see that hand skit and give it just a little finger wave.
Just-
like just not
That's
even
perfect.
a full hand raise.
That's
just
great.
a little whoop.
that's great.
This is gonna be crazy, but for our watchability and like laughability, I'm gonna give this one a 3. But I'm gonna say with a caveat, skip to the second half though, because they repeat all the first half B-roll footage and everything. You literally get the same thing in the second half. But then just that ending with a video with a bunch of Russians outside in the streets dancing while our God is an awesome God is going on. Like they're jumping fences, they're dancing in the streets, they're shoving snowballs in each other's face. Literally has nothing to do with the power team showing up, by the way. But they're celebrating in the streets, knocking down walls. I know it has everything to do with the power team.
Everything
It
to do
has
with the power
nothing,
team showing up.
nothing to do with the power team, like the live footage of their show. And so it's just, honestly, there was a lot of nostalgia there. I felt like I was watching Stranger Things, like the characters the people that showed up. I'm like, yeah, I've just seen that. Like those guys look familiar now.
It did feel like a time capsule. I say I give it 1 like finger wave out of raised hands. I would give it a 2. I think two sets of hands raised.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely have sent this video around to people now, and I can't seem to stop sending it to people.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I am getting a lot of joy out of it. And I do have just footage of that intro with the hammer and sickle busting through the wall that I've been sending to friends and being like, tell me what you think about this edit. You know? So
I'm getting really good at this YouTube thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and this is for context, Jonathan. We always talk about like, is this a good thing? Like, is this like an Oscar movie? Like, no, but where does it rank as far as like if you're gonna watch kind of a B level thing? And gosh, I would say I'm like Tim. I'm first of all like this is I think your most generous rating like of all time.
Yeah.
Because I was in the 2. I like the VHS editing. It is very reminiscent of like just this whole era. It definitely like honestly, I could see you sending it, Jonathan, because it does kind of capture what this moment was. Like it was like this was it. All the bad everything. If there was good, then it's in this one 59-minute film.
It gives you enough answers and also no answers about
Yeah.
the Power Team.
Right. Like, this was just just short of a phenomenon of a thing that that a lot of people experienced this presentation. What I love about you ended up sending me the intro, and I'll set this up for people. I imagine it's earlier in the video, but Jonathan asks, what do you remember about the Power? Do you remember the Power Team? What do you remember about the Power Team? And then his last question is, what did they say? And it's a super cut of 10 of us going I don't remember a word they said.
Yeah.
And it turns out, after watching John Jacobs talk, that might have been a gift from God, God was like, you know what, this part of the memory, we're just going to
God was like, I don't think he said anything either.
somewhere.
He's like, John Jacobs. I know
You don't need that part. But yeah, as far as this movie, which again, we'll put the link in the show notes, you can watch it. You can relive this if they came to your church or your city, because this was what it was like. I thought it would be such a kick to have a shirt, to have a legit Power Team shirt. They're so expensive. The 90s actual, the last one I could find, it just sold out. It was $90.
Whoa.
For a legit John Jacobs, and John Jacobs is, you'll be shocked by this, higher than the rest of the team, holding a sword, which is beaming into heaven.
How much do you think I paid for this comic book?
Based on that, I'm gonna say that's like a $200 comic book.
No, we're not talking that. Now, granted, this sold for 99 cents or something back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $17 for this one comic
Yeah.
book. So not necessarily what we would call a steal, but more than I wanted to pay. How about that?
I would have thought if you just stroked his ego a little bit, he'd have given you one for free.
Maybe. Well, actually, I don't know,
because
if you wanted to have the whole series of comic books, you
there's
had to
a
pay
series?
$20 for a full year. And also, if you wanted to have a real page of an original 1611 KJV, you had to give them $1,000.
Oh my gosh! Back then?
I talk about that a little bit in the video.
Sorry, what?
Oh, $1,000?
Yeah, there we go. I'm showing the fellas on screen.
Oh my
here.
lord!
Yeah, I will read this for you right now. It says, "Our exclusive Breaking the Chains family." It says, one who covenants, by the way, to contribute $100 per month to the ministry of the Power Team. This is 1991 money too, by the way.
Yeah.
Or sends a one-time gift of $1,000. To show our appreciation for your support, you will receive the items listed above, which is like a comic book and a Bible, plus a gift that could be called priceless. When you complete 10 months of your annual pledge of $100 or a one-time gift of $1,000, you will receive one of the last remaining pages of the original first edition printing of the King James Bible of 1611. These are authentic pages, older than the Declaration of Independence. They are ready and framed and ready to hang in an office, home, or church. They are priceless. That's really how this reads.
Oh, my Lord.
$90 T-shirt doesn't surprise me.
Listen, I started a whole project called The Bible is Funny. So people have thoughts about me and what I think about the Bible. I actually am incredibly connected to it. The thought of ripping a Bible page by page to sell,
Dude, it's crazy.
is honestly like a level of psycho that I like throwing the door open to this ancient text and going, "We got another check." That's like, oh my gosh, dude.
I know it's older than the Declaration, but we're going to tear it. You know?
You're just going to rip that thing apart? But I guess that is on brand for them. Here's my thing. If I'm going to do it, I want a video of you ripping that Bible page out.
You know what? I'm going to, instead of a phone book, I'm going to do a 1611 KJV.
He just has like a
Help
problem,
him.
and he's ripping like invaluable ancient text.
It will
He
go
becomes like a
viral, but
super
for not
villain.
the reasons I want, you know?
He's like in the Library of Congress. No, please put it down.
Like every independent fundamental Baptist is going to kill me. You know? They're gonna hate me.
Man, Jonathan, thanks so much for coming on the pod.
Thank y'all for having me and letting me babble about the Power Team, because now it's out of my system. Once the documentary's out and this is out,
Yeah.
my wife will never have to hear about the Power Team again in our house. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, I can't wait till you one day document the downfall of me and Anthony and what happened with us.
I was taking
you know,
hits.
The strife, the infidelity, the drug abuse.
Look at him. I mean,
It's gonna be great.
Look at
Look at him.
look at him. He's a mess.
Look at him. Dude, no, Jonathan gets so like I know that I know you're saying that as a little bit as a joke, but like Jonathan's other videos, if you don't know, he like listened to Switchfoot for like nothing but Switchfoot for like a week, like nothing but Stephen Curtis Chapman.
That was
for a week.
Saddle up your horses, guys.
Yeah, I listened to all 30 of his studio albums. Just kept going,
Lord.
and
Yeah.
and then he reached out, and he was super chill. So
You're so committed, and I love it so much, and I can't wait for the Power Team video. I'm gonna be the first. I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna be the first comment.
do it. If you
First
get
comment.
a first comment, I will send you one real page from my ESV study Bible.
If you send me the
if you-
DVD of your documentary, I'm gonna rip it in half.
No, no.
If you sign up for Power Team Plus, we'll send you one of the better parts of the Bible.
Yeah, I'll send y'all a picture of their merch list after this. I really will. It's wild.
That's dynamite.
Thank y'all for having me. This was awesome.
Dude, so
Thanks.
good. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for being here, Jonathan. Hey, fam, big family, Christian Movie Club members. Appreciate you coming along for this journey and for supporting the new name, Christian Movie Club. We're going to do another movie really soon. Keep sending we got a lot of suggestions over the break. Keep sending your Christian movie suggestions at The Bible is Funny, or put it in the comments of the podcast, wherever you listen to the podcast. And I see them there as well. So send them along, and we'll do another movie
then-
here real soon.
And then go watch all of Jonathan's stuff.
Go watch all
He's
Jonathan's.
doing the real work. He's doing the work. He's doing the stuff that we make fun of people for doing.
That's
It's okay. My wife also makes fun of me for doing it. So
yeah. Well, she's a mental health professional, so your kids are going to be crazy.
that's
I will put Jonathan's YouTube channel in the show notes, so you can just go right there, catch up on his stuff. Seriously, so funny. All his stuff is so thoughtful and good. I can't say enough good things about it. Go check it out. All right. Well, we love you guys. We'll be back here with another episode real soon, and we'll talk to you then.
Love you, bye.
Bye.
Football.